Now in this we are going to start up with the relationship between total product, average product and marginal product, all three. Previously what we have done a relationship between total product and marginal product, then average product and marginal product. Fine. Now we will carry on with the relationship of all three. Now what is the first point in that? When total product rises at an increasing rate, both average product and marginal product rises. So you must have seen when the total product is rising, what happens? What is the situation? Both average product and marginal product, they both rise. Fine. Now second is when it rises but at the diminishing rate, then what happens? Marginal product starts falling but average product is still rising. Fine. Now the next is at the maximum point. You must have seen where the total product is at the maximum point. Now what happened to average product? Average product and marginal product, they both are equal. At that point they intersect each other, right? Now till the time of total product rises at a diminishing rate, that means till the point when total product is rising, okay, though it is rising at diminishing rate, what happened? Marginal product remains positive. And what happened to average product? But average product falls continuously after reaching its maximum point. Till it reaches its maximum point, it shows rising, but then after reaching the maximum point, average product starts falling. Fine. Then when total product reaches its maximum point, average product falls and marginal products becomes 0. Now it is the edge. That means now that is the last edge of total product. Now when it reaches to that point, you must have seen marginal product is 0. But average product is what? It is positive. Though it is falling, but it is positive. When total product starts falling, marginal products becomes negative. Fine. So the moment you must have seen it has reached, total product has reached to the topmost layer. Now if it is falling, now it has started slanting down, it is falling, then what happened? Average product no doubt is falling, but in this case marginal product, they become negative. Average product remains positive. Okay. See, this is the graph showing your relationship of TP, MP and AP. Here you can see very well. See, when your TP is rising, what is the situation? AP and MP, they both are rising. Now when it is rising at diminishing rate, you can see AP, it is rising, but MP is falling down. It has started falling down. Can you see from the point A line has been drawn, dotted line. Fine. Now after that, when it starts falling at one point, it touches, that is intersect AP. Okay, this is the maximum limit of what you can say TP. Now after that, TP will be reaching to the last edge that is to the maximum point. Now when TP reaches to the maximum point, you can see MP here in the graph, it is touching x-axis. When it is touching x-axis, that means this is the point where it has reached the point of saturation, that is 0. Okay. Now after point B, you can see TP is falling. Fine. Why? Because B is the point where TP is to the max. Now after B, TP that is total product, it is falling. When total product is falling, you can see marginal product has crossed x-axis, that is intersected x-axis. When it shows the intersection and falling more downwards, that means it is turned into negative. But you can see average product is falling, but then it is positive. So average product cannot be negative, but MP, that is marginal product, can be negative. Now we'll study the law of variable proportion. First and foremost, what is the statement of the law? You know very well how to write the law. Whenever question comes for law, first you have to write the statement, then assumption, then diagram, then schedule, and then explanation of the diagram and everything. Fine. So that is how your diagram will complete. That means you have to give explanation of the diagram, including conclusion, everything. Fine. Now first we will study the statement of the law. Now the law of variable proportion states that as more and more unit of variable factor are applied to the given quantity of a fixed factor, total product may increase at an increasing rate initially, but eventually it will increase at a diminishing rate. That means it states that variable factor, what is the variable factor here? Labor. Fine. When it is applied to the fixed factor, that means when fixed factor and variable factor comes together. So we check out total product. Total product means total output. Now total output increases in the beginning. That is what we checked out in the diagram, right? In the beginning it is increasing, but later on what happened? Later on though it is increasing, but then it is increasing at the diminishing rate. Fine. Now what are the assumptions of the law? First and foremost, you know very well, any law in economics will not work out without assumptions. Fine. So every law has some or the other assumption. Now what are the assumptions in the law of variable proportion? First is the state of technology is given and remains unchanged. That means you are already informed about the technology and it will not change. Okay. Now second assumption is it is assumed that some input are kept fixed while others are varied. Now what we are doing, we are ourselves assuming that labor is a variable factor and rest are the fixed factor. So that is what it has been said, that it is you are assuming. Fine, to understand the law. Third is it is assumed that technology is such that it is possible to change the factor proportions. Factor proportions means the output proportion. That means how much we are inputting labor and what is the state of technology. So we can check out the proportion between the two. So it is assumed for that. Now last is it is assumed that all the units of the variable factors are homogeneous and are equally efficient. See, even output changes with the efficiency. Some are more efficient, some are less efficient. Fine. But what we are assuming that it is homogeneous. Homogeneous means all are equal and all are equally efficient. Fine. So they are giving same number of output. This is what all the assumptions are. Now you can see in the diagram, this graph, okay, you can see total product, second is average product and marginal product. Fine. Now here the law which we have studied, same thing we are illustrating. What we are illustrating, see, from 0 to L2 it is stage 1. Fine. Now stage 1 is what stage? Stage 1 is a stage when we have increasing returns to scale. Fine. That means my TP is increasing, my AP is also increasing, my MP is also increasing. Fine. Now the second stage. Second stage is what? That is diminishing stage. Diminishing stage, that means my TP is increasing but at the diminishing rate. Fine. Now third stage is negative return. Negative return means now my TP is falling. That means it is falling down. Fine. So when my TP is falling down, what happened? My MP goes negative. So this is what we have seen, 3 stages in the diagram. Later on we will study how to write 3 stages or what actually the 3 stages are. Right now you understand in the graph what actually the state is. I will explain you all the stages in later part. Okay. Now the one which you have seen in the graph, what is that? That is total product increases at an increasing rate up to point M, where marginal product is maximum. Okay. Now total product increases at an decreasing rate beyond point M. Fine. This is indicated by the negative sloping portion of MP curve. Now beyond point M, at point T on the TP curve. TP is what? Maximum. And MP is, when TP is maximum, what is the condition in MP? It is 0. Now beyond point T on the TP curve, it is decreasing and MP is negative. As additional laborers are employed with fixed factors, MP increases first and decreases eventually. Decreases eventually means later on, when it shows the diminishing rate of return in case of total product, MP starts decreasing. That is, marginal product starts decreasing. Fine. Same you can check out in the schedule. See the number of unit of labors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Now what is the total product? The total product is already been mentioned 100, 220, etc. Fine. Now AP, that is average product. Now when it is 1 unit, you know what is the formula for AP? AP average product, what is the formula? TP upon unit of labor, that is total product upon unit of labor, that is 100 upon 1. It will be 1 only. Same will be the state of marginal product. Now second, when you employ second unit of labor, what is your total product? 220. Now what is the formula for AP? 220 divided by 2. Now when you will calculate that, you will get 110. Now how you calculate MP? MP is the difference between the previous total product and the current total product, that is 220 minus 100. Now when we say 220 minus 100, it will give you 120. Likewise, when you employ third unit of labor, what is your total product? 360. What is your average product? 120. Now how you get 120? Again AP divided by unit of labor. Fine. So you will get 120. Now what is MP? MP, again we will see previous total product minus current, that is 360 minus 220. So it will give you 140. Likewise, we will keep on calculating. Now you will see till fifth unit. Fine. Fifth unit, it is increasing. Fine. So it is stage 1. Now after fifth unit, if you will see, it is decreasing. MP is decreasing. Fine. AP again is rising and TP is rising, but at diminishing rate. So this is second stage. Now when we will check out third stage, that is after 0, when MP is 0. Third stage, when MP starts negative. Fine. When it is turned into negative, that means it is third stage. Negative returns to scale. Now what we have assumed in this? We have assumed that capital is fixed factor. Its quantity remains unchanged at 5 unit till 5 unit. Okay. Labor is a variable factor and its quantity increases from 1 to 11. Fine. It is keep on increasing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now as the amount of labor employed increases, the total output also increases. Fine. Initially at an increasing rate. Thereafter what happened? MP rises to fourth labor till your TP, that is total product, is increasing. Now where MP reduces, that is when your TP is at diminishing, that is MP reduces when it is maximum. MP is maximum, now it has started reducing. Now beyond fifth labor, TP increases at decreasing rate. That is what I said, when it is diminishing rate, your MP starts reducing. Now MP begins to diminish here. Diminish, that is reduce. Now eventually reaches the maximum and MP becomes 0. Now eventually your TP is reaching what? Maximum. When it reaches to the maximum point, MP becomes 0. So ninth labor is employed at that point of time. Now any attempt after ninth, if we try to expand more, okay, if I want my output to be more beyond this point by employing one more unit, so what will happen? There will be no fruits. Why? Because TP will diminish, it will reduce, which will lead to marginal product negative. Okay. You must have seen a point of inflection in the diagram. Now what is that? It is a point from where slope of TP curve changes. Okay, that is the point where it starts changes. Now from which point it is changes till what point it is changes? That is TP has increasing at the increasing rate. From this point onwards, TP increases but only at the diminishing rate. So that is point of inflection is a point from where TP increases but at the diminishing rate. Am I clear? Now ahead we will study the 3 stages of production in next video. Okay.